Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Drive-Thru. I'm your host, Tony T, as we broadcast live here on Pick Dog's YouTube channel and throughout social media. We'll get you out of here well before the top of the hour, give you enough time to get those bets in for primetime games, and that's what we do here on the Drive-Thru. Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time is deliver live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later, and deliver those winners of professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. Let's take a peek at who'll be on the show for today. All right, we got Chris Ruffolo will serve as co-host. Ninos is with us. Sean Murphy. Joe Duffy in the center square. Mitch on his Wednesday appearance. Big Al McMordie and James Clark. Here's how they're going to line up for today. Sasha's not here with us today, but, well, we gave you the rundown already. Duffy, Clark, McMordie, Murphy, Ninos, Ruffolo, Mitch, and then I will close this one up. All right, Chris, kind of light schedule, but we got NHL. We've got a handful of games today.
Yeah, you know what? We kicked it off. It was a great day's worth of, even for two games. I mean, I caught the wrong end of that Tampa game, but man, the Seattle Kraken look like they're not going down without a fight this year. Expansion team is going to put some money in our pockets. I have a feeling later on in the season.
Yeah, sucks that way. All right, let's get the show started. Let's welcome Joe Duffy. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Joe, what's going on?
Oh, not too much, Tony T. I am excited, though. My New York Rangers have never lost in their history a game on TNT. I'm a little bit worried they could snap that streak tonight, but we're going to see.
We'll see, no doubt about that. All right, looking at college football here for Saturday as Kansas here will host Texas Tech. Red Raiders laying 16.5 on the road, total 66.5.
Yeah, well, Tony T, this is a system that I gave you, I think it was last Friday. It applied on Charlotte over Florida International, a nice winner. It had a really good week. Fading home underdogs off a game that is high scoring is 288 and 167. And like I said last week, the system doesn't necessarily say it's any better if the team that we're fading is off of a win or a loss. But Kansas is off a 59-7 loss, and they've given up 45 points or more in 4 straight games. And like I say, college football is much more about momentum, where in other sports, a lot of times when a team is off of 4 straight horrible defensive games, they actually become a good play. Not in college football, not that it's actually reversed, but again, it's not really a good play to bet for a team to regress to the mean in college football. Action Network, which I think has some of the better power ratings, they got this as a 21.5-point game. And then my top simulator does have Texas Tech covering 58% of the simulation. So all of the computer software, all the artificial intelligence, which continues to roll in the dimes, points towards Texas Tech minus the 16.5. W marks the center square.
All right, Joe Duffy here with Texas Tech laying the 16.5 here against Kansas. All right, Chris, we've seen Kansas really struggle here against Big 12 teams, scoring just 7 points. But, you know, the competition was Iowa State and Baylor.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing for Texas Tech is this season they've slipped up and slipped up sizably against the better teams, but against the lesser teams like Kansas, they've usually handled business. And, I mean, Kansas, this has been a team we've made money fading dating back to last season, and you could argue they could still be winless had it not been for a late win against South Dakota to kick off the year.
All right, Texas Tech here laying 16.5 against Kansas. This one has a start time of 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday. All right, Joe, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs Premium. Just a handful of NHL games today, but tomorrow we've got college football, NFL, of course, NBA just less than a week away. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yeah, already the NFL up for tomorrow. It's one of the best Thursday night systems out there. I know a lot of my regular clients might say, I have a feeling I know what it is. Well, you may not. Also got college football. Plus, for Friday night, already released my Friday night total of the year among a nice portfolio. And in fact, as soon as I'm done this, should be able to upload a bunch of Saturday games and just complete it. Well, not necessarily complete it, but I just have a nice group of NFL winners that I'm going to upload as well. So already we got some Thursday, Friday stuff, and Saturday and Sunday will be coming very shortly. And these are some incredible systems that go back decades. You've won with me for many, many years, so it's going to be a spectacular weekend ahead.
That's right. Get on board here with Joe Duffy over at Pick Dogs Premium. He's got college football up here for Saturday. 2 wise guys amongst 3 college football winners. He's got his Thursday night college football. The best way to do here, he's got on board with a long-term pass here from Joe Duffy, as he has an NFL weekly pass, or his college and NFL weekly pass for 3 days. You'll get all his plays from college football and NFL for the next 3 days. And for one low price. It's also part of 2 for 1 capper promotion. So get on board with Joe Duffy Sports over at Pig Dogs Premium. All right, Joe, as always, great having your show. Have yourself a great night, and we'll talk with you in a couple days.
We shall, gentlemen.
Joe Duffy here on the Drive Thru. Let's continue on our coverage here. Joined with Chris Ruffolo. It's time to welcome James Clark to the show. You'll find him over at Pig Dogs Premium. He's done really good work in the NBA. He was top of the leaderboards for much of the season as Shane Mickle was able to edge him out. Let's get James in right now. James, what's happening?
Not much, guys. How y'all doing?
It's going great. All right, you've got an NBA prop for us today.
Yeah, I have a MVP feature prop today. You know, I'm looking at Paul George to win the MVP here. And, you know, one of the biggest reasons why, you know, you got Kawhi Leonard out, you know, all season here. So if we can get back to the Paul George of the Pacers, you know, he played good last year in the playoffs. And we know what he done with the Pacers when he played with the Pacers. You know, it's going to be Georgia's team all year long. And if he can get them in the playoffs and maybe get a first or second round win, you know, you see a lot of your MVP, you know, it's supposed to be seasoned. But, you know, they also see, you know, how they are, the teams are too. It's not just individual play. It's, you know, it should be, but it's about how your team is, if they're on top, if they got a chance to win a championship. But, you know, if he gets them in the playoffs and plays good the way we know Paul George can, you know, I think he's got a good chance of winning the MVP here. And it's especially the value we're getting. Plus 3,600 for Paul George for an MVP, to win the MVP. He's won it once before, and I think he's got a chance to do it again here. Because, like I said, this Clippers team is going to be his team all year long.
All right, James Clark here on Paul George, NBA MVP at plus 3,600. All right, Chris, we know the issue with Kawhi Leonard with that injury. Looking at George here to be the one that has to carry the ball here.
Yeah, my only concern with Paul George, there is great value with him at plus 3,600, but the fact that he has been damaged goods ever since he came to the Clippers. He's only played 102 of combined games in the last 2 years, and historically, older players over the age of 30, the last 15 MVPs have all been under the age of 30. So my question for James, are you all concerned about Paul George's health, considering that he has yet to really be a consistent, healthy player for the Clippers since coming over a couple years ago?
Well, you know, with any MVP race or individual award, you know, you're going to have to be healthy all season to even have a chance for this award. But, you know, if he's not healthy, you know, the Clippers might as well pack it in and try for a draft pick next year. You know, with the Clippers, you know, they thought when they got George and Kawhi together, you know, everybody predicting championship. You know, here they are, year 3, and, you know, there ain't going to be no championship, I don't think, this year with them because, you know, you got Kawhi, like I said, he's going to be out all season. You know, Paul better step up this year. I think they might bust his team up.
All right, we got James Clark here. Paul George, NBA MVP at plus 3,600. All right, James, let's take a look over at Pig Dogs Premium. Handful of NHL tonight, but tomorrow we got that baseball game, that big Game 5, Giants and Dodgers, NFL, college football as well. What do you have going on over at the site?
Well, guys, I ain't got nothing tonight. You know, hockey is not one of my sports. I think all of last year I may put at 5, maybe 6 games. I don't want to push nothing. I don't want to just throw out a game error and give somebody get it and get them a loss or lose their money. But
all right.
Sorry about that.
All right.
Power flickered. But anyways, like I said, I do have my NBA season pass up that I put up. You know, I was number 1 all season. You know, Shane got me at the end of the playoffs. I ended up finishing number 2. Look, do the same this year. You know, I got the NFL pass up, the college and NFL together. Both of those passes up. You know, you can combine me up with the, like I say, every time you're on the show, with any of these cappers on the show, and you know, team us up with the season long. You can get me and Shane. You know, both of us season long pass, team us up. 2 for 1, or any of the cappers on the side or on the show tonight. Team us up, and we'll put some money in your pockets, fellas.
That's right. Okay, get on board here with James Clark over at Pick Dogs. Come off a really good NBA season. He's got his NBA money-making season and playoff pass, a season pass of NBA, all combined here with regular season and postseason for $700 within your budget. Remember, NBA goes a long time. It starts in October, finishes in June. So you'll be able to get about 8 months worth of NBA picks from James here for an affordable price over at Pick Dogs Premium. Of course, he also has his NFL and college football season pass aboard. If you just like to get James's NFL and college football this week, he has a 1-week pass, 7 days. You would get all his NFL, college football, as well as Major League Baseball playoffs for 1 week. Of course, that would cover NFL Week 6, college football Week 7, and of course, we get into the final day tomorrow of the divisional series, and we get into the league championship series with that 7-day pass. All right, James, as always, great having your show. Have yourself a great night, and we'll talk with you soon.
All righty, Tony. Appreciate you having me on the show, and sorry about the power flicker, guys.
No problem. I think I have you on the recap, if I'm not mistaken. That's right. All right, we'll talk to you a little later. All right,
all righty. I'll see you on a little later, guys.
James Clark here on the Drive Thru. Here we're joined by Chris Ruffolo. Guys, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Free picks every single day. Of course, it all gets started with that morning show at during the week. It's 11 a.m. Eastern time. You got Mitch, Rod Zawacki, Brian Bittler, Joe Madden, and then YouTube VIP. What a great value that is! If you follow the link below and get signed up, it's a really good promotion there with that YouTube members VIP. And of course, we always ask for your help, guys. Help us build up our audience with those likes, those thumbs up, Chris. It really helps us out.
Absolutely, Tony. It does. It's why we do what we do. For the love, for the support of the Pick Dogs family. We do it for you guys. When you show us the love back, it makes us want to do it even bigger and better than anyone else. So keep those likes, those thumbs up coming in. Because I always say it. I don't know if anybody can really realize how much they really help us out. So keep them coming in.
Hey, absolutely, keep them coming in. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Now it's time to welcome Big Al McMordie. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Al, what's going on?
Not much, guys. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great. Just getting ready for new season coming up here. College, what's going to college basketball media report starting today, and of course the NBA. So it's going to get busy. But we got some college football here on Thursday with South Alabama hosting Georgia Southern, with the Jaguars laying 3, total of 50.
Hey, this Sun Belt Conference matchup has been dominated by the Eagles. They've met 7 times, and they've won all 7 meetings versus the Jaguars, including last year's 24-17 win in Statesboro. They were a 3.5-point favorite in that ball game. Of course, this matchup is going to be played in Mobile. And if you take a look at the history of this matchup, Georgia Southern's been favored in 6 of the 7 meetings, including all 3 previously played here in Mobile. So this will be the first time the Jaguars are actually a home favorite versus Georgia Southern. And even though they've lost the last 7 meetings, I think this is a really good situation to step in and take the home team. And it falls into a nice revenge situation of mine. And what you want to do is take a conference home favorite of 2 or more points if they've lost each of the previous 5 meetings versus their opponent. Going back to 1980, that revenge angle is 114-80 against the spread. So I think that bodes well for South Alabama here to get into the win column versus the Eagles. Also, if you take a look at how the Eagles have done historically as a road underdog of 10 or less points, not very good. 1-11 straight up, 3-9 ATS. And then if you go back to when South Alabama hit the board or the regular rotation, they're 5-1 against the spread as a home favorite of 4 or less points over the last 4 years. They haven't been favored very often, but when they have been favored at home, they're 4-0 straight up and 3-0-1 ATS. So I'm going to lay the field goal with South Alabama in this revenge situation.
All right, I'm McMordie here. Says South Alabama -3 against Georgia Southern. All right, Chris, when you look at South Alabama, they have been competitive at home, and Georgia Southern's defense has not been very good this year, giving up looks like 487 yards a game.
Yeah, and you look at the key to this, I think, for South Alabama is going to be stopping the run, and South Alabama, top 40 run defense, probably one of the better run defenses that Georgia Southern's going to see this year. When we saw last week, when you force Georgia Southern to throw the ball, the results aren't usually very good. Justin Hall, I believe his name is, three interceptions, only completed less than half of his passes. So I think if South Alabama can stop the run here, they're going to be in a pretty good spot.
Looks that way. South Alabama -3 against Georgia Southern. This one will kick off tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern Time. All right, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs. We got a handful of games from the NHL tonight. But Big Al, you're doing fantastic work. You're approaching 3,000 units of profit documented in 2021. If you go to Pick Dogs Premium, all the plays are documented there. They're graded immediately on the site. Of course, we got the handful of games from NHL. Football again tomorrow, as well as that big Game 5, Giants and Dodgers. What do you have going on over at the site?
Well, I'm passing in hockey today, but I've already posted my Game 5 winner for the Giants and Dodgers on a nice, I think, 13-2 or 12-2 run in baseball. We're 39-16 overall, or last 55 across all sports. I've gone through the college football once. I'll go through it again a second time tonight, so I'll get my college card sorted out by probably Thursday. And then the NFL, I've almost through the first run through tonight, and then I'll probably get the NFL plays up on Friday. So I don't yet know what I'm going to have for the weekend, but I do know that I've got a big play on Thursday in baseball. It's already posted at Pick Dogs Premium. And actually, I'm going to have at least one college football play, not the game we just talked about. I'm going to have the other game tomorrow at Pick Dogs, so folks can get that, but it will be posted tomorrow.
All right, guys, got on board here with Big Al McMordie over at Pick Dogs Premium. You see the numbers, 2,910 units of profit for 2021. He's got his Giants-Dodgers Game 5 winner right now on the site. Best thing to do is get one of those long-term passes. 1 week of Big Al's selections. We get you all of his baseball plays for the week. His Week 7 college football. His Week 6 NFL and NHL he releases all for that 7-day all sports pass. You can also take those winnings after 7 days and go long-term because Big Al has a NFL and college football season pass combined into one. Includes regular season, postseason, as well as the bowl games. All right, Al, it's always great having your show. Have yourself a great evening. Oh, just throw something at you here. The Raiders make this coaching change. Anything you look at when these teams change coaches early in the season, or even mid-season?
I don't. I mean, I always have taken the viewpoint it's a bunch of noise.
Okay.
That's just my viewpoint. I'm not going to play on or against a team based on a coaching move. Every situation, of course, is different. Sometimes the players are in favor of the coaching move. Sometimes they're against the coaching move. So, I wouldn't make any, blanket judgment on that at all.
So that's not it's not something that you track there. Okay.
I actually don't track it.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
So,
all right.
Track a lot of stuff.
I know you do. I was just curious if that's something you track because we got it. Yeah, that's something I was just curious about. All right, Al. Have yourself a great evening, and we'll talk with you tomorrow. Guys. All right, Big Al McMordie here on the Drive Thru. All right, let's continue our coverage here. Join with Chris Ruffolo. Now it's time to welcome our buddy Sean Murphy to the show. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium. He's having a really good college football season today. Let's go ahead and wire in Sean right now. Sean, what's going on?
Hey guys, how's it going tonight?
It's going great. All right, here we go. NHL. We got the Capitals hosting the Rangers here. It looks like TNT is going to televise this one. About $1.10 each side, total 6.5.
Yeah, the Rangers are a team that I'm actually fairly high on this year, while at the same time I'm a little lower on the Capitals than most. So here tonight I'm going to recommend a play on the plus half a goal in regulation time. So we're going to be laying about minus 150, minus 160 in this spot. First week of the regular season here, we don't want to stress ourselves out too much in case these games go to overtime or a shootout. I like grabbing the half goal here in this spot. You got to keep in mind with the Rangers, we've got a new head coach with Gerard Gallant coming in. That's a huge acquisition in its own right there. And they've also got a lot of continuity with their roster, in addition to a few new faces that are going to help them out. We've also got Artemi Panarin, who missed time last year. If you remember, he had the troubles back in Russia. So just getting him back in the fold on the top line is really a key. And it sounds like Gerard Gallant is going to be maybe splitting up he and Mika Zibanejad, and I think that puts a lot more pressure on the opponents. They don't have to, they're going to have to defend a little more with two of basically what we could consider top lines here on the Rangers. They've got some depth that they didn't have in previous years, and also on the blue line, you look at New York. They've got Adam Fox and Keandre Miller, two key young players that I think are going to step up. In addition to Jacob Trouba as kind of the leader on the blue line for them as well. So this is just a team all around that's fairly well set up. Whereas you look at the Capitals, they didn't really make many changes in the offseason, just a couple of minor moves. Their depth, I kind of question their depth here at the start of the season with Nick Backstrom out. They're going to be relying heavily on Carlson and Orlov to log a lot of minutes on the blue line here at the start of the season. They're just not a team that I'm all that high on in this start of the new season. So we'll go with the Rangers here tonight. I don't mind them on the money line either, but if you want to be a little more comfortable, we'll grab that half goal in regulation time.
All right, Sean Murphy says go ahead and take the New York Rangers. Take the half goal against Washington -160 in regulation time. The game finishes tie. Tie wins here with the Rangers plus half goal. All right, Chris, what are your thoughts on this one?
I like the Rangers as well. I'm very high on the Rangers as well. I got a futures on them to win that division, just because I do like guys like Chris Kreider, Adam Fox, guys that Sean mentioned. I do want to ask Sean, though, so I know you said you're a little bit down on the Capitals. You think that a lot of that has to do with the injuries to Backstrom and Ovechkin, or are there bigger things at play within this team, like maybe potentially like the goaltending? Like, I'm not a Vitek Vanacek guy. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, I agree with you on the goaltending. I just feel like this is a team that's kind of been more on the decline ever since they won the Cup a few years back. Ovechkin's still one of the best goal scorers in hockey, but he's not really that kind of player that's going to absolutely carry the team. Backstrom, same kind of situation. He's not getting any younger. I think just the core of this team, they haven't made a lot of big changes. I just don't feel like they have the same kind of offensive scoring depth that you see on some of the other teams, including the Rangers. The Rangers just keep getting, these young players obviously coming in. That's what happens when you finish low in the standings. You're going to bring in guys like Lafreniere and Capo Caco. These are guys that are going to start to keep building, and I think the Capitals are kind of missing out on that.
All right, Sean Murphy here. Rangers plus the half goal against Washington, -160 in regulation time. And this one will start at 7:30 Eastern time on TNT. All right, Sean, let's take a look over at Pick Dog Premium. We're off to a really good start in the college football, over 400 units of profit. Of course, we got hockey on the board tonight, baseball tomorrow, as well as NFL and college football. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yeah, I've got one hockey play tonight, not an overly big play, but a puck line play going fairly early in the evening. College football, again, that's been kind of the best sport for me here in the last since the end of August, really. So for tomorrow night, I've got my American Athletic Conference Total of the Year. We just won our Sun Belt Conference Total of the Year last night, barely, with the under. So we've got a play on that tomorrow night. Also Friday night, I've got a big Mountain West play coming up. Saturday, I haven't had my card loaded yet, but we'll get that posted in the next day or so. And also NFL tomorrow night. I've got my Thursday night total of the month featuring the Bucks and Eagles. So lots on the go. It's a good time to maybe grab a 3-day or weekly package if you're looking to try out some of these plays.
That's right, guys. Again, I'm board here with Sean Murphy over at Pick Dogs Premium. You see the numbers here. 411 units of profit, all documented at Pick Dogs Premium. So you visit Sean's profile page. You see that he has a lot going on up there with this puck line winner tonight, as well as college football and NFL. As Sean mentioned, that 1 week all sports pass is the best value right now with these sports starting to overlap. 1 week pass means you'll get all of Sean's plays here from the NFL for week number 6. College football week 7. We got Major League Baseball playoffs going on right now. The start of the NHL season. Guess what? You also have a couple of days of NBA in there as the NBA regular season begins on Tuesday. So a good time to get on board with that 7-day all sports pass, and with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. If you had a second capper, even greater value there. All right, Sean, as always, great having your show. Have yourself a great evening. Continue that success, and we'll talk with you next week.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Sean Murphy here on the Drive Thru. We'll continue our coverage with Chris Ruffolo. Guys, reminder, if you missed any of the picks, we'll do a complete recap at the end of the show. And now it's time. We're going to go ahead and welcome to the show Ninos. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium, where he does pretty good work for us. Let's go ahead and bring him in right now. I want to see if Chris can hear him. Well, we probably should do that here. I guess I'll give Chris a little break here from everything. Let's go ahead and bring him in right now. What's going on now?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing fine. All right. Now, you got a game tonight you'll be looking at here. You're going to be looking at some NHL between the Avalanche and Blackhawks at 10 Eastern time, with the Avalanche laying $1.85, total of 6.
Yes, they are. And, they're hosting the Blackhawks tonight, season opener for them. The Blackhawks here obviously facing one of the best teams in the league, but they do have a couple things going for them tonight. And, let me get this out the way. My pick is on the Blackhawks. You might as well get it down as fast as you can if you agree, because that line is dropping faster than any line I've seen in a long time. So get the value while you still can there. But yeah, so first off, they just got Marc-Andre Fleury in the off season, so that's a big upgrade for them in goal. Kevin Lankin went on a real good run last year and was a big reason for that little streak they went on. But that only lasted so long, and he's just not as consistent as Fleury is. And second, well, Nate McKinnon will be out for Colorado, so they won't have to worry about him. So that's one of the Colorado's best players right there. And yeah, he tested positive for COVID, so he'll be missing this one. If you want to look at the total, I kind of like this one to stay under. We're getting plus money there too, but I just think there's just more value on the Blackhawks here. Yeah, and goal for Colorado was Darcy Kemper. So he was on a really bad team last year, so obviously didn't get a lot of wins, but his numbers weren't horrible, and I think he'll do a lot better, obviously, with Colorado. So again, I expect him to have a pretty good game too against not the best offense, obviously, in the league here. So yeah, I do pretty like that under pretty much, quite a bit. Sorry, plus money, but again, I'm going with the Blackhawks here tonight, and yeah, I think we're getting some nice plus money still, despite the line going down about. I mean, I think Colorado opened at minus 290, and they're minus 80 now or so. So yeah, so a lot of the value is gone, but we're still getting around plus 60 with them. So I think it's still worth a shot.
Yeah, it's there's question, no doubt about that here with the line move in this one. So you're looking here at NHL here with the Avalanche and the Blackhawks. Are these teams you see like an Avalanche? A lot of people are high on this team even to make a deep run in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they're gonna have a great season, but I just think it's a good chance to take a stab at some nice plus money here with one of their best players missing this game.
All right, so Al here on the Blackhawks plus 167 against the Colorado Avalanche, and this one will have a start time at 10 p.m. Eastern time. All right, now let's take a look over at Pick Dog Premium tonight. Well, we got a handful of games from the NHL. Well, tomorrow we got that. You'll be sweating tomorrow with that Dodger-Giants game number 5. Of course, we got NFL and college football starting. What do you have going on over at the site?
I have 2 NHL plays, but just one up. If you want to get my best play, if you want to just get that, if you want to get a long-term pass and get both. Obviously, no other sports going off. Not doing any preseason NBA, so I have to wait a couple more days for the NBA. But yeah, great time to pick a long-term pass up with that starting up soon too.
That's right. Get on board here with Al Ninos over at Pick Dogs Pim. NHL Wednesday alphabet up there. His best play from the NHL is yours tonight. Of course, you can take those winnings, go long term with Al because he has had 3, 7, and 30 All Sports Pass. You get every play that Al releases over at Pick Dogs Pim for that time period you choose. When you go to the profile page and you make that purchase, add a second capper with 2-for-1 capper promotion, even greater value there. Of course, now with these sports overlapping, it's a great time to get one of those 30-day All Sports Passes. So you get NFL as well as your college football, your baseball playoffs, your NHL, of course, the NBA, which starts on Tuesday. All right, Al, as always, great having you on the show. You have yourself a great evening, and we'll talk with you soon.
Have a good one. See you. It's really fun to see you.
All right, Al Ninos here on the drive-through here. Chris returns here. Of course, I don't know if you heard. I don't know if you heard Al on that segment. He did like the Blackhawks. What's your thoughts on that one?
I think there is value at the Blackhawks. I mean, we neglect to mention the fact that Marc-Andre Fleury won 26 games a year ago, is now the starting goaltender in Chicago. I think that might have been the steal of the century for the Blackhawks, especially with that team needing to trend in the right direction.
All right, let's continue on here on the drive-thru. It's Chris, front and center now. It's time for your game here as we got the Broncos hosting the Raiders with the Broncos 3.5-point favorites, total of 44.
Yeah, now we all know the whole John Gruden thing. We're not going to go into any details about that from off-field stuff. What I am going to talk about John Gruden is with the change in the play calling. He was running the offense for the Las Vegas Raiders, and while the Raiders had been one of the hotter teams to start the year, they've only put up 23 points in their last 2 games, and that's not necessarily good news when you're going up against a Denver pass rush that can get after the quarterback, and that's really, they've got a pretty good secondary as well. That's going to keep the Raiders honest in the passing game, and that's going to kind of force them to maybe run the ball a little bit more. And with a Raiders team, 29th in rushing yards per game, only putting up 78.6 a game, and second worst in the NFL in terms of yards per carry, just over 3 yards per carry. That might be a little bit of a challenge to move the football. You look at the other side, Las Vegas, they still have a very good defense as well, though. And against a Denver team that's only put up 26 points in their last 2 games, I don't know. I'm leaning towards the under here. I think this is a first to 20 kind of game. And I just think that there's not going to be a ton of scoring. There's going to be an adjustment period with a new play caller for the Raiders. And the Denver Broncos, not a team that's really been known for their offense this season, so I'm looking at the under.
All right, we got Chris here going with the under in this one between the Raiders and the Broncos, and yeah, it's a really tough one for me. I know the Broncos are laying 3.5, and their knee-jerk reaction is say maybe you take the favorite here, but then again, it's a great unknown here with this with Gruden gone. How will they call the plays? The offensive coordinator now steps in. Of course, will the general manager have some say in what's going on? There's a lot here that's gonna play out here over the course of this week in the fall, and of course the NC, because we know I think this might help the GM. He has a little bit more power now in the organization.
Yeah, I mean, well, Mike Mayock always knew who to draft, but not necessarily maybe who to bring in as a coach, because he's had John Gruden was maybe a questionable decision from the start for a bunch of people, but I just think that we talked with Big Al about it, maybe not necessarily having as much of a factor in terms of your capping of the game. But I still think there is just something to be said for an adjustment period and maybe coming out a little bit slower. And that's kind of why I stayed away from the side in this game, because I could see it happening both ways, where the Raiders, like, this kind of galvanizes the team and pushes them, and then all of a sudden they come out and win by 3 touchdowns, but I could also see it the other way, where Denver completely shuts them down. They can't adjust to a new play caller, and, well, it's a beat down from start to finish. That's why I was looking at the under here. I think it's just a more methodical, cautious approach from both sides, and thus resulting in a lower scoring game.
Tight divisional contest here, Raiders and Broncos under 44, and this one will have a start time of 4:25 Eastern time. All right, Chris, so let's take a look over at Pick Dog Stream tonight. Well, we got a handful of games from the NHL, but tomorrow we got the NHL as well as the NFL. That big Game 5, Dodgers and Giants, college football on the board as well. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Well, tonight I've got my Whale Bet Wednesday. It's my favorite day of the week. It's been a bumpy ride since the weekend, I won't lie to you, and that's why transparency is important for us at Pick Dogs. But tonight's the night the bounce back hockey's up and running. I got my Whale Bet Wednesday 3-pack, 3 hockey plays on the board that are my favorite, possibly in the opening week of the NHL. Like Rod Zawacki mentioned it yesterday, we got our Puck Dogs package up, so you can check that out as well. Just going to be NHL exclusive there, so if you still want Rod and I together and all of our plays, you still got to go to the 2-for-1 capper deal, but it's still, whether it's not just me or Rod, me and Tony T, me and anyone on the show, it's one of your best values on the board, 2-for-1 capper deal, or whether you just want a 3, 7, 30-day, or a year with me, you can do that as well. Season passes, it's all there for you guys to go check out over at Pick Dogs Premium.
That's right, guys. Get on board here with Chris Ruffolo over at Pick Dogs Premium. Whale Bet NHL 3-pack, 3 plays on the board. His 3 best bets from NHL. Get on board with that, or as we said, take those winnings, go long-term with Chris. That 7-day all sports pass will get you every play from Chris for the next 7 days, which will include NHL. Also, baseball, as we will get done with the divisional series tomorrow, but then league championship series will begin. We got game 1 of Boston and Houston. Of course, we've got the college football, week 7, NFL, week number 6. We also have NBA starting on Tuesday, so that 7-day all sports pass, a great value right now over at Pick Dogs Premium. As Chris said, at a second capper with 2-for-1 capper promotion, even greater value. All right, let's continue on the show here. Join with Chris. Now it's time to welcome Mitch to the show. You'll find Mitch over at Pick Dogs Premium. He's also part of the morning show and many of the shows over on Pick Dogs. Let's go ahead and get him in right now. Mitch, what's going on?
Nothing much. How you guys doing?
Going great. Doing great. All right, we're going to take a look here at the game tonight. Actually, a game on Saturday, as BYU will be heading over to Baylor to face the Bears. With the Bears here is going to be laying some points here. Looks like it was 6.5 in this one.
Yeah, I thought that heading into last week, BYU was one of the worst undefeated teams I've ever seen at this point of the season. When you look at them statistically, middle of the pack at best in just about every main statistical category, offensively and defensively, and they played a slew of home games. I know they beat 3 Pac-12 teams, but really squeaked by Arizona, who's terrible as well. So we're seeing, we saw the writing was kind of on the wall there for BYU, and now they head down to Waco to take on Baylor. not a good scene for them either. Baylor has played a pretty nasty schedule, and once again, flying under the radar, well-coached team, and I think BYU's in for a hurting here as well. The Seals kind of been cracked on the Cougars, and I don't think that anyone had kind of big expectations for them coming into the season anyway, but I think they are in for a world of hurt in this one.
All right, Mitch, you're on Baylor laying the 6.5 here against BYU. All right, Chris, let's look at here. Baylor here, they did post a win at home to Iowa State, and at home coming off a win here, impressive win against West Virginia.
Yeah, the writing has been on the wall for BYU. It's, you start to see the perils of making your own schedule as an independent and scheduling not necessarily the hardest competition or scheduling a lot of home games. But I get flack for agreeing with everybody, so I'll fire a question back at Mitch. I'll say, do you think that maybe this game for BYU and putting up a positive result will maybe do something for their confidence? We look at teams on the schedule, like I believe it was Iowa State, trying to pull up the schedule here. I think Oklahoma State's on deck as well for Baylor. I'm just trying to get the schedule, but
yeah, Baylor. This is a scheduling spot here. Yeah, this is kind of a spot here where you get BYU mixed in here in conference play with Texas, TCU, and Oklahoma coming up next for Baylor after this game.
I understand that, but for Baylor, this is a chance, for a major bowl game this season. They have those opportunities ahead of them, and I just don't think that BYU has anything there that's going to offer much resistance. BYU's always, their big advantage is always the size differential that they have over a lot of these teams, but they don't really have that over Baylor. And, we're starting to see that, with BYU, 82nd against the pass in the nation, allowing 238 yards per game through the air, 46th against the run. And then, when it comes to, scoring, their BYU offense is 80th. 27 points a game, while Baylor, surprisingly, 17th best in the nation in scoring points. Usually the team that scores the most points wins the game, and the team that scores a lot more points usually covers. So I just think that Baylor is just the better team here and the better option. They've already played Oklahoma State, Tony. That's their only loss that they have this season. I think Oklahoma State's one of the more underrated teams, and believe me, they take out Texas this week. People are really going to start looking at Baylor, and we might not get as much value on them when they play Oklahoma.
And one thing to note here with Baylor, they've had home games with West Virginia, Iowa State, and Texas Southern. They still rolled up an average of 507 yards in those games. I know they played that cupcake, but those are two power teams, and they contribute to that average there, Mitch.
Under the radar, Oklahoma State and Iowa State, certainly on everybody's radar, and even West Virginia. They slaughtered West Virginia. I mean, it wasn't like a game. It was, even James Clark will tell you. He was on our show the day after that one, and that one left a mark.
Yeah, it certainly did. All right, Mitch, you're on Baylor laying 6.5 against BYU. All right, Mitch, what do you have going on over at Pick Dog Stream? I know there's a lot of shows, a lot of new shows coming up. I know Sports Chat Place has some more activity there, too, on the channel.
Yeah, we got just a lot going on at all the sites. We've got our morning podcast is now on... They added it to another podcast network. Someone contacted me. Odyssey. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but we're on there too. As the Blues Brothers said, they screwed up. They trusted us. Anyways, we're there, and we're doing a lot of stuff like that. We're adding more video content to the Pick Dog sites. A lot of the videos that I do are now being added as content as well to the Pick Dog site, so you can find them there in our library. So. A lot of other things going on behind the scenes. I'd rather show you guys when it arrives. It just takes a little longer sometimes than we hope.
Yeah, it does. The world of technology and, of course, programming, it does take some time to get everything to get going. All right, Mitch, as always, great having your show. Have yourself a great evening, and we'll tune in tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And I know you have that mid-afternoon show. Usually starts about, 4 Eastern?
Yeah, it's supposed to start at 3:30, but now it's been starting at around 4. I think that'll probably be the more permanent time. We'll also have some different programming there. We're just kind of trying to get Joe into the mix with everything, get her into the routine of, not everybody grinds it like we do. So, coming over from where she was, where they don't really, they kind of half-ass it, getting her going full tilt and getting her, she's full tilt all the way, but getting, just getting into that routine of every day. You guys know what I mean. Ruffolo, you going clubbing with that shirt? What's going on?
I know. It's just, and the thing about it is,
if I'm gonna do one more button down, I can do one more button.
When I tell people in our industry, Mitch, what we do, no game is under our radar. Our job is to make sure that nothing's under our radar. That's the difference.
Not at all. And it's like, people are like, I mean, a lot of people comment about like, the quantity that we put out and, and all that stuff, but this is what we do. It's like, I don't have any other speed to do it at. It's not really a choice. Then I'm like everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right, Mitch, take care. Have a great night. And we'll look for those videos. I know Giants, Dodgers tomorrow, and we got some football. I'm sure you'll have those posted.
We got the Puck Dogs as well, Ruffolo and Zalewski, pumping out those NHL videos. Mitchie Puck skating out a winner yesterday with the Penguins. We'll see how he does today.
There you go. Crazy bet the under, man. That was a rough. All those goals there in the last 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah, there's no rougher under than that White Sox Astros yesterday.
Oh yeah, it was pretty brutal. No doubt
like
about
Altuve goes to the iPad. I knew I was in trouble. Like, hey, you got it. He just happens to have a spare iPad next to him. It's like, let me take a look at what's going on.
All right, Mitch. Have a good night, Mitch. We'll talk next week.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Mitch here on the drive-thru. All right, guys, remember with Chris here. Reminder, if you missed any of the picks, we'll do a complete recap after my play. So it's now time for me to come in with my pick. The play tonight will be from college football. Missouri here to host Texas A&M. Texas A&M a road favorite of 9. Total sits here at 59.5. And I will be on the home underdog, Missouri, here at plus the 9 points. And you know what? Texas A&M is an inconsistent offensive team. Yeah, they finished off with their best offensive performance with a win at home to Alabama. But you know something about this Texas A&M team? They are playing their first true road game of the season. We're already into week 7. Yeah, they played Colorado and Arkansas, but those were on neutral fields. In those performances, the Aggies produced only 272 yards on a loss to Arkansas, 288 yards, and a 10-7 win to Colorado. Other lackluster offensive performances came in a 26-22 home defeat to Mississippi State. Missouri is a good offensive team that produces 467 yards a game. They rush for 5.5 yards a carry. Quarterback Bazelak completed 67% of his passes, 7.4 yards per attempt. At home, their numbers are even better. Aggies have failed to cover their pass 4 on field turf, which is a faster surface than grass. I'm going to take the 9 points here, Chris, with Missouri. I'm just looking for Missouri Tigers here to be competitive here against A&M. That's been an inconsistent team this year.
Inconsistent. You kind of wonder if they left it all out on the field against Alabama last week, and that was as high as you can get, I think, if you're Texas A&M. And the book is out on Missouri. If you want to beat this Missouri team, run the football well, and that's just not something that the Aggies are primed to do. I think they're 80th in the country in terms of rushing yardage. And simply put, you look at Missouri, 0-6 against the spread this season. It's simply been a case of being favored by too much in the games that they're favored in and simply not being able to cover the smaller games. But I think this is a game where they can keep it within a touchdown. I like Missouri as well.
Yeah, I can see definitely a game that goes back and forth here. Missouri plus the 9. This is a Saturday game with an early kickoff time. This is the 12 noon Eastern kickoff time, which again I think favor Missouri and the traveling team here with A&M. All right, guys, check out Pick Dogs Premium. I will have a 3-pack up on the board for Thursday's action with NFL, that big Game 5, Dodgers and the Giants, and we'll pick one from the college football as well. And also part of the 2-for-1 cap promotion over at Pick Dogs, so you can match me up with Chris, Mitch, Rod Zawacki, Big Al, Little Al with that 2-for-1 cap promotion. A great value, no doubt, at Pick Dogs Premium. All right, let's continue on here on the show with Chris. Now it's time to do the recap. Let's bring in James Clark to assist us. It all started with Joe Duffy said take Texas Tech minus 16.5 against Kansas. James Clark, Paul George, NBA MVP plus 3,600. Big Al McMordie, South Alabama minus 3 against Georgia Southern. Sean was on take the Rangers plus half a goal against Washington at minus 160. This will be in regulation time, so it ends in a tie. You win. El Ninos, Chicago Blackhawks plus 167 against Colorado Avalanche. Chris was on Raiders Broncos under 44. Mitch was on Baylor minus 6.5 against BYU. Yours truly on Missouri plus 9 against Texas A&M. We'll start with Chris. Other than your pick, which one do you like the best?
So I got to go right to the top of the mountain. I like Joe Duffy with that Texas Tech minus 16.5 against Kansas. the Jayhawks just a whipping boy in terms of the Big 12 and covering the number.
Yeah, that looks good to me as well. All right, James, other than your pick, which one do you like the best?
I have to go with Chris's pick here. I like the Raiders. The under here, the under 44. Like Chris said, two good defenses. And also he said about, you have different offensive coordinator, calling different plays. Both teams is tough defense, and I look for them to get the under here. Also, Tony, if you don't care, throw out a 2-team preseason NBA.
Go right ahead.
If you don't care. Okay, it's the first half again, guys, because don't know if they're set or play the good players, but they're going to play them the first half. Anyway, they got the Knicks -4.5, and then I also got Denver -3.5. The Knicks is like I said, 4.5 first half, and Denver -3.5 first half.
All right, there you go from James Clark. Also, Marissa A says she likes the Blackhawks. She likes Al Ninos' play there. Looking at the chat room, and some of the chatters, the folks in the chat room are giving their opinion here on the plays they like the best there. All right, now and I'm going to go here with Joe Duffy here, Texas Tech laying the 16.5 against Kansas. That'll do it for. Also, keep an eye on the weather there in Kansas. That's just be very careful there, because if we get windy conditions, that will definitely impact the scoring in that game. I've seen it before with Kansas. Kansas has been a doormat, but somehow, some way. I remember when Les Miles was coaching, there was big odds, and we would get those windstorms there in the fall, and the points would be low. So keep an eye on the wind condition there in Kansas. All right, that'll do it for this edition of the Drive-Thru, guys. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again. We'll have 8 cappers on the show giving out live free sports picks for the games in prime time. We'll have a good betting board tomorrow. We got college football, the NFL game, of course, that big Game 5, Dodgers and Giants. So be sure to do that. It all gets started with the morning show, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, with Mitch, Rod Zawacki, Brian Biller, and of course, we got Joe Madden as well, as Mitch is putting her through the grinder. He's going to put her to the grinder with every game on the board now. No, there's no such thing. In our industry, there is no such thing as an under the radar. Nothing is under our radar. That's why we're professionals. So we got to grind every game. All right, guys, so be sure to tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time for that morning show. And of course, that YouTube members VIP at great value. Let's bring in the crew from tonight. We have good night, everyone. Have a great night, guys, and we'll talk with you. Look at Mitch, nice and casual there. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow live at